Hyundai has just rolled out a brand new infotainment system. It is that perler right there, 10.25 inches. It is an absolute whopper. Today I'm going to take you through the infotainment system, give you a review and let you know if it's any good. Hyundai's infotainment game has massively stepped forward, and it is thanks to this. It looks really impressive. It's super high resolution. Beneath it, just as a side note, you've got capacitive touch buttons. So what you do is just click with your finger. You just kind of push a little bit and it activates, so they're really handy. The screen can be displayed in split screen, and here on the home screen you'll see three main pillars, and then you can swipe to get to the other menu items. The navigation first. So it's a really nicely presented screen, very high resolution, and entering addresses is really easy. So you just click up here. If you want to type in an address, you just start typing it in. You'll see suggestions showing up here, and then once you've found one, you just click on it and it will give you the different options. You hit start guidance and away it goes. Inbuilt traffic guidance there as well, so it will reroute if traffic does become bad. Now, the curious thing here as well is that you have the ability to look for points of interest such as chargers, because this is a plug-in hybrid, and of course you've got the electric model as well. This will navigate you to the nearest charger where you can plug the car in and get that full charge, which is really handy to know. And outside of that, the rest is all pretty straightforward. You get voice recognition as well, but it only applies to Apple CarPlay or Android Auto when you have your smartphone mirroring. And I'm going to go into a bit more detail on that in just a second as well. Back here on the home screen, you've also got access to the radio menu. DAB+ digital radio is inbuilt, so you get an absolute raft of stations there, more than you could ever know what to do with, and the music quality is fantastic thanks to the 8-speaker Infinity sound system. Back on the home screen, you also have, for the plug-in hybrid model and also for the electric, a whole stack of driving data. So here you've got your range. As you can see here, we're down to 0 because we have used all of that internal battery, and we're now basically just using that internal combustion engine to move the car with the electric motor as a boost when required. When you hit that, you'll be able to select options for chargers. So you can see there's a charger there, and it can also guide me to that charger should I want to go there. Energy information, this tells you how much range you've got and how long the car's going to take to charge. So if you just plug in on a standard plug, it's going to take 4.15 hours, whereas if you plug in on an AC charger, which is a slightly faster version of a standard domestic plug, it'll take around 2.5 hours to charge. So that is really handy information to know, plus your battery life there as well. Charge management, this is another fascinating thing. Obviously not that big of a deal for something with such a small battery like this, but you are able to set off-peak charging. So if you do have cheaper energy rates after midnight, for example, simply pop that into here and the car will then charge off-peak. You can also limit the amount of charging current that is coming through the car. So if you've got an extension cable or something you're not meant to be using, you can limit the amount of current that it's pulling out of that. Eco driving, this tells you what your history is like. Now, the fascinating thing here, we'll get to this in the driving section, but this car is fairly bang on when it comes to its driving performance. In our previous driving loop, 85 kilometers with a full battery, the car averaged 1.9 litres per 100 k's. So it ran out of battery at around that 63k mark, and then from there onwards it was using a mix of battery and also the internal combustion engine. 1.9 litres per 100 k's, that is pretty impressive stuff. And then energy flow, I think Toyota kind of mastered this with the Prius. You've got an idea of where your power and torque is coming from, where your regen's going. It is really clever in the way that it presents that information. Now, the other interesting thing in here as well is the manual. So a lot of car companies will build the manual into that infotainment system, but this one's a little bit different. It has a QR code. So just getting your phone out, you open the camera, scan it on the QR code. There it is there. And it says openhyundai.com in Safari. And then, Bob's your uncle, you have the web manual on your phone for your car. So it is a really clever setup, and it means they don't need to waste any space trying to integrate a manual into that screen there. The other great feature on Hyundais and Kias is the voice memo function. If you're out on the road and you come up with a great business idea, like a new YouTube channel for cars, you can simply record it into here, it will stay there, and then you can catch up with it later. And then you have the rest of your basic functions like phone. So obviously all Bluetooth pairing there. You can do everything that you can in most other cars except the voice recognition function, which is a little frustrating unless your phone is paired and mirrored. And then outside of that, you've also got specific functions and settings that I find fascinating fascinating. So for example, in the display settings, you have a blue light filter. So at night time, it will reduce the amount of strain on your eyes by limiting blue light emissions. Here's a fun fact for you. Did you know this is one of the first Hyundais with this big screen, but it is also one of the first Hyundais with widescreen Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Most modern cars these days that do have these big screens, and Volvo jumps to mind here, you can't actually get a widescreen version of your smartphone mirroring. Well, Hyundai has solved that. Plug this in for your smartphone mirroring. It pairs up with the phone and then it displays your CarPlay option, which is just there. Look at that, you are getting a full screen experience. So it is really beautifully laid out, and this is something that you're not getting in much more expensive cars. And one more fun fact for you, Hyundai has killed the auxiliary plug. It's gone. It's kind of like the CD player. It's slowly becoming extinct from cars, and they've gone in favor of Bluetooth and USB streaming for audio. That is a seriously impressive infotainment system. It is let down by the fact you still can't do voice recognition without smartphone mirroring, but overall it is a fantastic unit. Let us know in the comments what you think of it. Have you tried it? Do you need a bigger infotainment screen in your Hyundai? Or have you tested one that's better? Let us know in the comments below.